Welcome, golf fans, pursuers of knowledge and the almighty dollar. This is your golf guru bringing you the CJ Cup at the Summit. This is my Before the Lock show where I cover ownership projections, my top value plays, pretty much guys that are 7,500 and down. We're going to look at weather, everything you need to know. I'm going to share with you to get you ready to lock in those final DFS lineups and maybe some last minute bets. So with that said, let's do this. Okay, so real quick, I've got my prize picks for you for the opening Thursday round of the CJ Cup. And as always, they are still offering a 100% match up to $100. All you need to do is enter my promo code GolfGuru. That's going to get you that free money. And again, if you don't know what prize picks is, it's just a different way, a little simplified way to get into the DFS kind of fantasy action with doing over or under their projections. And they actually have something a little unique that I noticed for the PGA, for the golf stuff. And they are allowing you to pick over-unders on fairways hit, green and reg, some different things. And so knowing what I know, these are very large, generous fairways. And the one thing is the player pool you get to pick from is pretty slim. I think there's like 6, 7 guys. But with the guys we have. So I'm taking a shot at the fairways hit. I looked at the green and reg, and they were actually the projections. I would maybe take a few of the unders on that. But what I did end up with is going with, and you always have to pick at least one over no matter what you pick. So you can't have all under or all over. So what I went with is Justin Thomas. They got him set at 9.5 fairways hit. Now you got to remember there's 4 par 3s here. That does not, so you're technically getting 14 fairways to hit. And out of that, I think he'll go under the 9.5. So if he hits 9 fairways, we're good to go. And Justin Thomas, out of these guys and pretty much out of the whole field in 2021, was almost dead last in fairways hit percentage. It's not that he can't go out and hit those little smooth hooks he found and steer the ball around. But if he takes those full swings, he is going to miss some fairways typically. So that's why I'm going to take him under. And then, of course, Colin Morikawa at the bottom, he's the highest one. He's got to actually hit 11 fairways, so pretty much 11 out of 14. But, of course, as you guys know and I mentioned, this is his home course. He practices here. He plays here a ton. He's going to know the sight lines. He's going to, he's hit these shots. Now, could he have an off day? Of course, but everything I like there. And then DJ, typically he hits that butter fade, and as long as he's hitting it, he hits a lot of fairways. And Xander also. Xander probably makes me a little nervous. And this one I did not lock in for the kind of the power flex or whatever they call it. I allowed to be able to miss one of these, which if I miss one, I get 1x the money I put in. If I hit all 4, I get 5x. So that's a little unique for me, but I'm not the total scoring I wasn't a big fan of, and they just didn't really have enough golfers where you could kind of leverage. So that's the PGA. Of course, you can play any sport there, but this is what I'm giving you guys. So good luck with that. Try it out. Enter in my promo code GolfGuru and 10x that money. All right, let's get into this. All right, so let's jump over to Fantasy National. I'm going to give you some analysis on the players that around 7,300 and down, and the guys that I like, and then let you guys make your own kind of decisions, but I'll tell you who I'm going with. Okay, so I've jumped over into Fantasy National. Again, highly recommend it. I'm not going to go into the whole spiel, but as you guys know, if you've been watching me, you've been getting quite a good little education on it. And so I've got 10 guys highlighted that are from, I believe, the 7,400 range and below. I think there's some good values down here. Definitely you're going to be wanting to play some of the bigger guys. So you're going to end up, as always, down here. And these are the guys that typically are going to, allow you to get 2 or 3 of the guys between the 11 and 9,000 range. And starting right off, this is actually sorted by the guys that are the best ball strikers. So who's been, over the last 12 rounds, 3 tournaments, gaining off the tee and approach. Out of these 78 guys, you've got KH Lee that comes in number 7, and not too shabby in all the other categories. The putting, birdie or better, opportunities gained, par 5 scoring. So who's taking advantage of the par 5s? And then, of course, that procs to the pin, 75 to 100 that I think is going to come into play a bit. To the right, we're looking at birdies gained over the last 12 rounds. You can see nothing that I'm super excited here. And of course, we're getting these guys for 4 days, so we do want them to make as many birdies as possible. But overall, he's been playing really good golf, and for the 6,200, and I'm showing you he's been elite ball striking, so he's going to give himself those opportunities. I like Ashley. You can see his projected ownership right there. And tournament history. So again, we can look at this CJ Cup. Of course, he is sponsored by CJ Logistics, so you're going to be getting a few of these guys in here. So he's played in quite a few last year. Out of, I think it was a field of 80, he ended up T52, but different track. And I think he's playing better golf recently. If we go click on Cashley, he's also had a win recently. So already had that win at the Byron Nelson back in May. And so he can definitely win it for you. But he also had the 14th recently at Shriners, the 12th at the BMW at Caves Valley. That's also another Tom Fazio course. And had a 6th at the 3M Open. And you can see a lot of green here over his last 6-7 tournaments. And typically where he's going to pop, I mean, the Wyndham, man, if he could have just putt, he could have definitely top 5 that. But when he does pop with a putter, he's getting you a top 15 or better. And that's what we're looking for out of these guys. If they can get you, placement plus some birdies over those 4 days and get you, somewhere in the, top 20, top 25, that could be a great win. And then I'll plug in just while we're here. He did play the WGC St. Jude. He ended up 54th. That's a no-cut event. I already discussed the CJ Cup. Kind of middle of the pack. Nothing super excited. I doubt he played in the Zozo. He wouldn't have got invited to that. And if we want, we can look at Wells Fargo just to see another Tom Fazio course. Let me see if he played Palmetto. He did not play Palmetto. That's a Tom Fazio. Yeah, so that's about it. I think if you want to see his putting splits, I mean, bent, I guess, would be his least worst putting surface. Looks like he can kind of handle the wind if that blows. And you can see his stroke gain, data has been on the way up over the last, since July. So I kind of like Ashley. He's going to give us some opportunities. And for that price tag, almost bare min. The next guy, how can you not put Jonathan Vegas when you're in Vegas, right? He doesn't live in Vegas. Actually lives in Texas. But when we've seen him, last time we saw him was at the BMW. He's been playing pretty good golf. I mean, his ball striker, again, he ends up 11th out of this field of 78. Again, it's all about the putter with him. But he definitely gets the birdie or better opportunities. Ranks 20th there. You can see he has been on the positive and making birdies. Had that T2 at the 3M, a T11, a T15. Missed the cut at the Northern Trust, but like I said, made the cut to BMW. And he did play last year at Shadow Creek and ended up with a T16. I believe that's correct. I don't know if they are classifying. Let me just verify that for us. So let me type in. So I'm trying to figure out what they're considering. Okay, I take that back. It was not Shadow Creek. He played at Nine Bridges. Some similarities, bent par 72, but I just wanted to clarify. I wasn't sure. So 2021 was Shadow Creek. Again, the putter is the issue. Also, not too bad in the wind. You can see his stroke gain data has been surging on the way up over the last, few months. And you can see that here too. Over his last 5 tournaments, everything's green. That's what we want to see. The putter has spiked at times, but he's also had some negatives. Like I said, his best kind of put everything together was at the 3M Open where he almost won, came in runner-up. And we can plug in WGC events for him just to see what he's done in no-cut events. A couple 20s, a 17, that's a little while back. It's been a while since he's been in a WGC. We already looked at the CJ. I don't think he played at the Zozo. We can plug in the Wells Fargo. He had a 43rd recently. That, of course, is Quail Hollow. And then if we look at Palmetto, spelt that wrong. I forgot about that. He actually had a runner-up at Palmetto. So that's kind of interesting. Let me click on, I got to remember if that's actually Bermuda at Congaree, par 71. But as Tom Fazio, there's some similarities there. I'm not saying it's the best comp course, but something to hang your hat on. The next guy, actually, I knew he lived in Vegas, but I didn't know. Mad McNeely actually also is a member at the Summit Club, plays a ton there, practices there. And if you listen to the presser that Morikawa just put out, I believe that was yesterday, that they played a little there, and Morikawa said actually he knows for a fact that McNeely has shot a 61 at the course. The best round that Morikawa's put in is a 62. So I think that's pretty interesting. I mean, again, a guy that is sleeping in his own bed, gonna know the layout now. I've seen guys go to their home courses that they literally, belong to, play a ton at, and struggle. Ryan Palmer, I believe, is a Charles Schwab at, I believe, Colonial. Um, I don't think he even made the cut. I think he shot like two or three. And so there's that one thing where you put a lot of pressure on yourself to do well, right? Because you're like, I should go out here and, this is my home course. I can tear this up. I've got, I know certain things about the greens, where to miss it, how they, certain breaks. Does the ball always get a break towards the Vegas Strip, as they always say? Yada yada yada. So, but I'm gonna go with that. I like Matt McNeely. Period. Typically, I like to play him on POA and on the West Coast, but this is a home course. It's home living, and so Matt McNeely for sure is going into a lot of my lineups. Probably even pop him in some of my showdowns. So, and also, right, we had that second at Fortinet, almost had a win there. It's just played really solid golf. Let me go take a look at some of his info. So I mentioned POA is his best putting surface, but Bent's right there, positive. It's not gaining a half a stroke on the field, but 0.3 strokes. So that's something. You can see on the upward trend on the stroke gain information. And, quite a bit of green here. Kind of off and on with the putter. Let me see what that Caves Valley, what the greens were bent. So, you could kind of knock that he lost 4 strokes on bent greens there. But that would be bent at Silverado, and he ended up, what did he gain there for strokes? So he gained 4 strokes there. So there you go. And then just recently at Shriners, he actually lost with the putter, and that was bent greens too. But you can see, got around the course pretty well. Just the putts weren't dropping, and you had to shoot, I believe, what was the cut, 5 under? Anyways, so I like Matt McNeely. You've got some inside information. So for the people that listen to this, you got a little more than probably most people. Aaron Wise, awesome ball striker. The putter has been heating up. Ranks 21 in the field again over the last 12 rounds, 3 tournaments. Again, you see the spike in the birdies here in October with a T8, a T26, a T17. Oh, by the way, I bet on Maverick McNeely. I believe it was 60 to 1. So just a side note, I think it's a pretty good bet. Why not? But anyways, back to Aaron Wise. Let's go take a jump and take a look what he's been up to. So you can see it's always been an issue with the putter, but this is the life of his career. You get a better feeling. So his last 5 tournaments, he's actually been gaining a stroke with the putter, and you can see that kind of illustrated here. If you take it all the way back to in May, he's definitely gained more than he's lost, but he still had those out of nowhere dumped 5 strokes. But Shriners, that's bent. We said gained 2.7 at BMW. That's bent. Sanderson Farms, I'm almost 100%. That's Bermuda. And then Wyndham, I will verify, but that should be Bermuda too. Yeah, Sedgefield. Okay, so anyways, not sure WGC events. It's been a little while, but he had a 19th and a 6th. So when he has been in a no-cut event, he's done pretty well. He did not play the CJ Cup last year. Did not play the Zozo. You can look at Wells Fargo. So he had that 9th just, recently at the Wells Fargo. That's pretty impressive. And really didn't do it with the putter. It was everything except. And funny enough, note to self, if you can put it in your brain, and when it comes to Wells Fargo or Quail Hollow, you probably want to play Aaron Wise because he's had a runner-up, a 9th and an 18th on a very, pretty difficult big boy track. I don't know if he played Palmetto. No, he did not. Okay, so I like Aaron Wise again at that price tag. It's 7,400. And then Cameron Tringale was already one of my picks. I just wanted to bring it up again. You can see he's firing everything. It's just been Sundays. Just for whatever reason, he's falling apart on Sundays. I'll click on him again just so you can see some of his information. So he gains on all putting surfaces. Bent would be his second best. You can see this up trick, since pretty much June of 2019. Just been, in Fuego with the strokes gained. And he's had, some issues off the tee. That even showed up at Shriners, I believe on Sunday, if I remember correctly. It's, he started hitting just very kind of untypical. I think of him, I think of a very accurate driver. But you can see, he can get a little wayward. But anyways, I like Tringali. Already a pick. Alex Noren, also a pick. So I already picked a couple guys for you. The Gooch, wasn't he was kind of in and out. I think, he's been playing great golf. You got to remember last year at Shadow Creek, he had a fifth place finish. So something to think about. You can see he's been making a lot of birdies over the last few tournaments. Ball striking is at 32. The putter, again, it could be the issue. But you can see gains a lot of strokes on par fives. Not the best when it gets into this 75 to 100 range. I think that was probably one of the reasons why I kind of faded off him. He's got the bent positive. POA is his best surface over the life of his career. You can see on an upward tick with his stroke gain, had a little dip there and then back up. But the last two tournaments, he's gained almost 9 strokes tee to green, and kind of a mix with the putter, gained almost 2, lost almost a stroke. So, if he gets that, gain a stroke, you can have a really nice finish with Mr. Gooch. Oh, let me just plug in some of the comparables, see if there's anything that stands out. I think he's done pretty well at Wells Fargo, yeah. So he's had a 26th and a 13th. I don't know if he did not play Palmetto. What about Houston Open? So he's done really well at the Houston Open. That's just a similar, I think, kind of track and length. Almost more focused, on these two, not 21, but he's done well there. What about WGC events? That's funny. He's never played in a WGC. Did he play in the Zozo? So he did play in the Zozo last year. That came right after the CJ Cup. He had a 35th, another no-cut event. So, yeah, Gooch is a good play down here. Definitely get him involved. Cam Davis, just purely when I think of Cam Davis's game, pretty elite tee to green, can get it hot. He is probably his best putting round he's ever had. Was on bent greens, of course, when he had his first win at the Detroit Golf Club. I don't know if he's actually played. Let's take a look at his putting split. So, funny enough, that's kind of amazing. So, look what he does on bent greens. Gains almost a half a stroke, we'll just say, and everything else is negative. That is interesting. So the Northern Trust, yeah, that was on bent, and that was Liberty National. That was kind of his, last really good outing with a putter. And then the Schwab, that's also bent at Colonial. And then, of course, the Rocket Mortgage, I already told you, gained 3 strokes there. That is for 100% sure that is bent. That's interesting. So definitely think about playing Cam Davis. I don't think we looked at any of his. So did not play the CJ, did not play the Zozo. What about any WGCs? Played in the most recent St. Jude, had a 60th. So not a lot of experience in no-cut events, but everything says that he should do very well at this track. I put EVR in here. I know he played terrible, and I think I picked him last week, which is very rare because he was just on such a heater. But I've always said, and you guys know, I'm typically 1 week off on my picks at times. And so for 6,700, you can see everybody's kind of sour on what happened when transpired at the Shriners. And let's go look at what the stroke gain data is for him. What fell apart at Shriners? Because I really didn't get to see him, but he does gain on bent, and he's usually not a very good putter. But he does have some positives on bent, so that could be one reason. It's more like what went right. So he did okay off the tee, lost 3.3 on approach, struggled around the greens. And this is what killed him, was losing, 3 strokes with the putter. And that's bent greens too. I mean, a little different type of blend, but, he had this streak with the putter, went in Fuego at the BMW. That's Caves Valley. Again, Tom Fazio design. So I see no reason. I mean, you can't get hung up. You can see here, I mean, probably not a bad guy to throw a bet on either. And I have not yet. I'm not sure what his odds are, but 14th at Valero, and then miscut, a 10th at Palmetto, again, a Tom Fazio course, miscut. And then he kind of had these, whatever we'll call them, middle mid cuts, but nothing great. And then boom, 7th at Northern Trust. And he also won, what was that, Barracuda right before this. So that's what kind of fired him. I think I talked about it, where he was going to almost miss his card or have to go back to the Korn Ferry kind of playoffs to get his card, and went from that to, ended up 22nd in the Tour Championship. Like, that's just, that's crazy within like 4 tournaments to turn your career and turn your whole outlook of the year, because it wasn't very favorable. It was a really bad year for EVR. So again, I'm going to sprinkle them in. You're going to get some differentiation in your lineups, it looks like right now, and we'll verify that when I go to ownership projections. Then the last guy I got to talk about is Jason Day. Um, was a big fan of Day. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not a fan, but yeah, he's just been dealing with back issues, right, and fighting that on and off. And if you watched this tournament last year at Shadow Creek, he actually, I believe, was either fifth. There was a 5 in it. Well, maybe they'll show it. Let me go. Let me see if it'll show the score. But all I know is he was doing really well. Yeah, it's not going to pull it up, but well, I could do that a different way. So 2021. Let's go to leaderboard. Let me type in Day and see if it won't put in his stats in. Anyways, you're going to have to trust me. If you didn't watch the tournament, he was either in 5th place or he was like 5. He was very live going into would have been the final day, and then had the issues, hence the withdrawal. But you can see, I mean, he's actually played. When he has played, he's had some shots to do stuff. You can see, was always one of the best putters on tour. Of course, he lost his putting a bit, but it did make a resurgence here. He gained 4 strokes at the Rocket. That's bent. Gained 3 strokes at the Travelers. That's POA. Just wanted to confirm that for you. Had some opportunities. Had a 7th at the AT&T. So, he pops here and there. So I think at that price tag, I'm going to plug him in. I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, I watched him. I believe it was at the Travelers. And I believe, if I remember correct, let's look at the leaderboard for that. Again, I just had to refresh my brain. So round 1, Jason Day. Where did he shoot? Oh, let's just do it a different way. I can just pull up his. All right, so yeah, he shot. That's what it was. So 69, he came out and shot that 62, and then it was like literally all like it looked like he was could win this thing, and then you could see, I swear, the back something started to stiffen, and it wasn't the same. So that's the biggest thing. It's a big risk issue. Whenever you play Jason Day, he could withdraw before the tournament. He could withdraw during the tournament. But if he plays all 4 days and he does well for you, you can see ownership's pretty low. I think it's a good play for 7,000. I think a lot of people are pretty sour on him, and you can see, not that bad of results. Okay, that's enough with the analysis. Let's go jump over to ownership projections. Okay, so going over to the ownership projections again within Fantasy National. Again, if this is the first time you've ever seen me go through this, just give you a quick understanding. So a lot of people, as you see these stars, pick their favorite players. They enter in mass lineups into DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever through this tool. That this thing is grabbing all that information, and that is how we're getting this calculated ownership. I look over here at this actual LU generation, so that's lineup generation. I think that's better than, people can click on a ton of different guys and it doesn't mean they're going to actually play them. So these are where actually lineups have went in. So with all that said, funny enough, the number 1 owned guy right now, as of, I don't know, like 3 o'clock on Wednesday, is Jonathan Vegas. I don't know if it's just, I'm sure the price tag and, and of course he's been playing pretty good golf and is, again, how can you not play Vegas in Vegas? So, Victor Hovland's next, which is kind of interesting because he did not have that good of a out at the Shriners. I'm sure a lot of people on Morikawa, just like I am, it could go both ways, right? I mean, I've seen it backfire. Like I said, Palmer at Colonial multiple times he struggled there at his home course. Aaron Wise up there. You got Xander, who also lives in Vegas, but if you listen to his press conference, he's never played the course. I forgot the course he belongs to in Vegas, but he plays there quite a bit. He said he's had the offer, just has never got out there yet. So, but I mean, again, uh, is there that big of a benefit? I'm not saying it's a huge advantage, but if you're comfortable with the course and you have confidence on certain holes, you know where to where to play certain things, where to miss certain things. I think there's an advantage. Now, it's just you still got to go out and hit the golf shots and make the putts. So, Russ Henley's up there. That's kind of interesting. You got Gooch, who I was mentioning. Cam Davis is already around 15. Just trying to see anybody who sticks out. So my Mad McNeely, again, another member, as we already discussed, is at 14%. So that, sure everybody's talking about that. Trying to see if there's anything that's from a lower perspective where you can really. So you got a Robert Streb. No love for Streb. I'm shocked he's even in this. It's pretty interesting. Sun King, like I said, he's been playing some decent golf. You're getting, I think what he was first round leader at the Shriners, so might not be a bad play from a bet from a first round leader standpoint. Um, who else down here that might? Jason Day at 1.4%. So there you go. Munoz. I would love to play Munoz, and he could go off. I think from a DFS perspective, I will put a few lineups with him in there, just knowing that he's been crap, but also knowing he's one of the, can be as an elite ball striker and can go low. The putter goes. He's had some putting yips. I've never seen it, but from 3 or 4 or 5 feet, it's been pretty rough. Lucas Glover not playing good golf, but same thing. I put those two pretty much in the same camp. Usually pretty solid tee to green. It's just what they can do with the putter. Ricky Fowler, I think everybody's finally given up on. Patty Kazire, my broke back guy. It's just I don't know if he can get enough advantage. He's got to just get that Infowago putter going. All right, it gives you some ideas of where guys are from an ownership perspective. Scotty Scheffler at 10%. That's interesting to see because burned a lot of people last week. Sam Burns is at 12. Sanjay M at 11%. That back-to-back. I'm still just kind of shocked that the highest owned is Jonathan Vegas. I guess it's just, again, just we're owner the price tag. They must feel that's a huge value. Okay, let's go talk about weather real quick. So I'm using the same location, of course, as we did at Shriners, pulling up, by the closest I can. You can get to about Summerlin. There's a South Summerlin, which has got a couple locations, but I like this. It doesn't matter. They're within miles of each other. And everything looks like these guys are going to go tear it up. So even from that PrizePicks, of course, if it was windy, I might have been not so excited about trying to do the fairways hit, but I think they're gonna tear this course up. So yeah, Thursday looks amazing. Friday looks amazing. Even the weather is like perfect golf weather. It's not as hot as you would think it usually would be, so ball might not fly, as far as we're used to here, but it's still higher elevation. But yeah, only thing that maybe Sunday, maybe a little wind in the afternoon, or just but nothing crazy. So again, it's the desert and it can change on a dime. So again, all I'm telling you is check out Practice Park, pull that up for your wind finder data. Nothing to worry about from trying to pick team, because you don't have to worry about a cut. So, but if you're trying to figure out for Showdown, just keep an eye on it. Okay, that's it. I think that's all I have to share. Let's go wrap this up. Okay, so to summarize my top value plays, we are going to go with the member at the summit, Mr. Mad McNeely. And it's kind of funny if you look at his driver, he's hitting the Maverick. I just wonder if that had a little bit to do with his decision. Also got some lead tape on that toe, I guess, to make sure he gets that toe closed and draws the ball or something. But yeah, Mad McNeely, I told you guys already enough about him. I think he could be great, a great play here. We're going to go with Johnny Vegas, I guess, like everybody else is. Never would have guessed. I just, I like his game and just you're getting 4 days of Vegas. Could definitely get hot. Aaron Wise has been playing amazing golf, one of the best ball strikers out there. It's just, and the putter's been producing a little better. So, going to keep riding him. And then I think my wild card would be definitely Jason Day. If he top tens, which he can, just stay healthy, Jason Day. Don't pick up your kids at the putting range. Don't do anything crazy. That could be the guy that could break this for you. And then last but not least, I like KH Lee at almost bare men. Also been playing great golf. And of course, he is sponsored by CJ Logistics. So how could you not? So that's my top 5 value plays for below. And with that said, that's going to wrap it up. If you do me the honor, click that like button, share this with anybody else that you think might like it. If I can help you, hit me up on YouTube comments. And I am 59 subscribers away from hitting 1,000. So if you are watching this for the first time, you made it this far. Hopefully you like what I do. I typically put out 3 shows a week, maybe a little less here in the fall, but I'm solely focused on golf. So anything that I find out or can help you guys with, you're going to get it from me. So hit that subscribe button and hit the notification button. Find out when my shows come out. Last but not least, follow me on Twitter at DFS Golf Guru. Purely, I keep an eye on PGA Tour communications. So if anything's coming out, watching a guy's withdrawal or anything I think you guys should know, I will tweet it out. All right, guys. Hey, have a great weekend. Enjoy the CJ Cup, and I will talk to you guys on Monday.